Things seem like they're changing, don't they, my friends? This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to get into a ton of stuff. In this video, we got a clip of Katt Williams that has went viral regarding something he said at a comedy show, and it was some years ago, but it relates perfectly to what's going on today. We'll get into that. We're going to get into also some other interesting things that are going on. We have, of course, this young guy here that was recently honored at the joint speech 2 days ago. And of course, in this video that went viral, he was essentially being made fun of for wanting to be a policeman. And this is a guy who survived cancer. He's 13 years old. We'll get into that. And we're going to get into actually a ton of other stuff. We have Arkham Asylum now being apparently in America. We have, it's kind of weird. You'll see what I'm getting at. But basically, we have 3 very famous criminals all in the exact same prison, even getting perp walked like the Joker from Batman. We have, of course, Sam Bankman-Fried, Diddy, and was it Luigi, all in the exact same cell block. We'll get into that as well. We're going to get into actually a ton of stuff. And we're going to get into what's going on with France and China, what China just said. We'll even get into a number of other things, including even what Walmart just did, which you're not going to believe. Let's get into this. Let's start with the Katt Williams clip. Check this out.
Well, we kind of have to start. I hope that everybody saw what I just saw. If a person starts their heckling with F America, then that gives me the right to defend my country. I couldn't be anti-Mexican. My Mexican fan base is largely responsible for me even existing. So between them and the black community, it's really all I have. But I don't think I need to apologize for being pro-American. The guy said that all of this is still Mexico, and I was just giving him geography. This is America, greatest.
Exactly. So there's this heckler in the crowd at one of his shows that basically was saying, "You're in Mexico." And of course they weren't. I mean, it's like, and I think he was in Arizona or at this comedy show. But of course, this guy in the crowd, you know, obviously rejects the whole concept of them losing. And there's no issue. There's nothing wrong with having some pride, of course, in your country, obviously. So it makes sense that we have here Katt Williams. And it's so bizarre. I mean, it's like few and far between with these celebrities. You would think some of these celebrities would actually care, you know, about their country, but apparently no. A lot of them are like, oh, we're going to leave because we got this new president here. And of course, they want to bring in more and more, you know, people, but they don't want to live around them, right? And it kind of reflects or reminds me of this clip over here of England, of London particularly. And I went to London like back in 2001. And I remember it like, was it 2001? I think it was 2001. And it was like everyone was reading newspapers still. I was on the subway and I couldn't believe it. Just like every person had a newspaper. And they were all Brits, right? They were all Brits. Now, where are the Brits? Where did they go? Check this out.
Henna century, boy. Everyone's getting their hennas down.
That guy's got a little bit of a British accent. I think he's talking about the street name. I think it's Hennessy or something like that. He says it's very long. As you can see, all the people, though, where are the Brits? Certain parts of London now are only 5% British. 95%, of course, I don't know, Arab, you know, maybe African, maybe India, wherever they're from. Obviously, a lot of different places. And I'm seeing these ridiculous videos on X now, formerly Twitter, that are showing like just the most ridiculous things you've ever seen in your life. Like using the street, of course, as, you know, a bathroom, for example. I'm like, what? I mean, like, seriously? Right in the middle of the street. Right in the middle of the street. There's like cars going by and like, what? Yeah, that's the kind of stuff going on there. So, yeah. So, I mean, when you replace, you know, we're talking Brits in this case, the entire thing changes. The entire atmosphere, the culture, everything changes. And that's why it's wise to uphold whatever culture you're in. Obviously, Katt Williams is American, you know, and we want America to be strong. But of course, as I mentioned, this kid here, I mentioned this in my previous video. Let me just play this clip. He wants to be a cop. He just survived cancer. He's 13 years old. He was told 6 years ago he had 6 months to live. He's still around. He's been honored by 80 different police precincts as honorary a policeman. And of course, our president just recently honored him as well. But check this out. This is it. People making fun of him for wanting to be a policeman.
Oh, baby, you can't arrest me. You too cocky. So you on your phone? You about to go?
I mean, we have like this. That lady is obviously an adult, and she's making fun of him for wanting to be a cop. Seriously, what does she want him to be? A gangbanger? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's at least aspiring for a great job, right? So, of course, our president recently honored him at the speech a couple days back and made him an honorary Secret Service member. Here's his reaction to that. His face, as you can see, it reminded me of that movie or that TV show, Different Strokes. What are you talking about, Willis? Kind of that face. That's from a long time ago. What was that, like 80s or something? I can't remember that guy's name. The shorter guy, the younger one. Man, I used to know his name from Different Strokes, that TV show. At any rate, of course, what did the other side, what did the left, how did they respond to this? Check out this, just totally ridiculous.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who's thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the...
She says it's disgusting, saying that it was a spectacle, mocking him almost. It was not mocking him in any way, shape, or form. It was honoring him for surviving cancer, fighting, of course, to live so that he can one day be a policeman. And for them to talk like this is just absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, it's just really ridiculous. Then, of course, it seems like they're completely cringe recent as well. You have this new video that came out. This is the liberals coming out with a choose your own fighter skit. Check this out. This lady here looks like she's trying to take a dump or something. Look how she does it. What's going on? This lady almost falls. Oh my goodness gracious, dude! And of course, their stats. They have their stats here. How they're a superhero. What is her superhero capabilities? First Chinese American woman elected to Congress. She's super nice and sweet. Apparently, she's a sweet person. Too sweet. That's apparently one of her, I don't know, supernatural powers, I guess. What about these other ones? Not into hair dye. Okay, not into hair dye. That's one of her superpowers. Okay, what a Trekkie. We got a Trekkie here. And AOC's a Trekkie. This one hates balloons. That must be her superpower. She hates balloons. I mean, goodness gracious. I think there's got to be a little bit better qualifications required to be in, of course, Congress. Apparently doesn't take much these days. Hates balloons, doesn't like hair dye, and is too sweet. So these are the qualifications these days. And we're going to get into a ton more. We're going to talk about what Walmart just did. You're not going to believe this. Oh my goodness. It's really interesting, some of the stuff going on. We also have one on Domino's Pizza, what's going on with them. We're going to get into Joy Behar and what she said about something. We're going to get into actually a ton of other stuff. First of all, I got to mention Food Supply. 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 3 months worth for $5.97. Considering the fact that French President Macron is talking about Europe all going behind Ukraine and supporting them with, and they're talking, using these. We're talking the big ones to protect apparently Canada and Europe from what? Are you trying to start a world, WAR? Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah, apparently. I don't know. This Ukraine war is continued for so long. It's wise to be prepared. Link is in the description for that. Also, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, How to Build a Cellar, do things around the house like they did in good old days, hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely need that before one of these wonderful events occurs. Get it. Link is in the description. Get the printed version, of course, $37 plus shipping. And, of course, my website, GR Videos. Go check it out. I got a lot of interesting videos over there, even videos from 10, even 15. Well, I don't know. Do I got any 14 years old videos over there? I think a couple of them, 13, 14 years old, over there. And some of them I'm like, I had ones like even 2013, 2012 where I predicted some of the stuff going on today. At any rate, go check it out. Lots of deep dives into interesting topics. Link is in the description. Let's get back to the video. So, of course, we got a lot of stuff going on. We have Walmart and Domino's Pizza. Let's just start with Domino's Pizza. Apparently closing 200 more stores worldwide. Is your pizza joint one of them? And, of course, I usually get pizza on the weekends. So, but lately I've been getting them from some of the local pizza joints. I just want to try some of the new ones instead of all these mega chain ones. But Domino's Pizza, I've bought from there numerous times. 205 restaurants worldwide being closed. And, of course, it's interesting. It obviously has to do with inflation. It has to do with the momentum for the last 4 years. Obviously, a lot of people still are not making enough money. The fact is we are now seeing some of these jobs come back to America, but it takes time, right? So you got Ford, Stellantis. You got tons of different companies bringing lots of jobs back to America. Apple, $500 billion investment over the next 4 years, bringing manufacturing back to America. Stellantis opening 3 factories. All of these things are because of our new president and these tariffs. Okay, it takes time for that to turn around. Obviously, you can get a better job, make some more money, hopefully. And honestly, I have not seen the prices rise in the stores like they're claiming. I've seen one. I mean, there's a lot of them trying to say eggs. That's about the only thing. Literally, I went to the store today. The only thing that cost more than usual was the eggs. Matter of fact, overall, I feel like it's a little cheaper than it used to be. Slightly, not a lot, but slightly. Because I got a ton of stuff, and it was like $115. And it was quite a bit. It was not a small amount. Filled my entire back of my SUV. So I had some other stuff in the back too, though. But it is interesting, though. Usually that would cost more, I think, in the past. But at any rate, so the fact is you have Domino's Pizza closing 200 stores. I think it's some of the momentum from all the things that have been going on over the last few years. Then we have this story with Walmart, something new, a new policy, what they're actually putting in stores. And apparently they're doing it into a lot of their stores. Okay? And they're not really admitting what's going on here. Okay? They're pretending. You'll see what I'm saying. Let me just show you it. Okay, so you got this story. This is so strange. Walmart shopper tries to pick up Dove body wash. Then she sees Walmart's new security feature. So the new security feature is they have these, like, not glass, but plastic doors. You have to pull it up and get the thing out. And then in some cases, they have a lock on them. It depends on the situation, depends on the location. They may have a lock, it may not have a lock. And in some cases, even after it gets unlocked, they put it in this new security wire mesh bag that you have to carry up front. We're talking Dove shampoo. We're not talking like gold. We're not talking about something expensive. We're not talking about like a new TV here. We're talking Dove shampoo. Like, seriously? You're going to put this behind like lock and key now? Really? Everywhere? So obviously, like I said, it's not that way. They don't put lock and key in a lot of places. Probably the places they don't get robbed, really. They don't put it behind lock and key. But they still have the feature where you have to pull up this plastic thing just to grab it. And in some locations, they may still require the wire mesh too on top of that for something that probably costs $10, right? But of course, it's interesting because I've noticed this with Walmart of recent. They're not being entirely obvious with a lot of their speech that they're putting out. So they're doing this blanket across numerous stores When in reality, most stores do not have a problem whatsoever. It's just these certain particular cities that have laws that are passed that say, oh, look, you just get barely a slap on the wrist for stealing $1,000 worth of items. And then you just let them go through the store, grab whatever they want, go out of the store, don't even get in trouble. Those cities are the problem. But they're pretending like, oh, it's not the cities, it's just everywhere. It's not everywhere. It's certain cities that do this. Why are you putting it in every store? Why are you putting it in a lot of other stores? Apparently, they're doing this in quite a few places. So it's just amazing because you can't arrest, you can't stop or detain these people, and they don't have these big punishments in a lot of cities. I remember 20 plus years ago, I have a friend who's in pharmacy. He's a pharmacist. I think he was working at Walgreens or CVS. I can't remember which one it was, but it was in Detroit. And he would tackle dudes that were trying to steal stuff. He was telling me all these stories of tackling dudes like they were trying to rob the pharmacy and stuff. And I thought it was pretty hilarious, but like you'll never see that stuff today. They don't go around. A pharmacist. He's not a security guy. He's a pharmacist. He's like literally tackling people trying to rob the pharmacy. So you ain't going to see that anymore. But well, maybe you'll see it in a couple rare situations and the guy gets fired for it, But the fact is, like, why are they doing this? And they're not really being entirely honest about it, right? But then you have these other stories where they're trying to be really clever in how they word things and how they're doing stuff. Let me show you this. Walmart and Target announce they're raising prices this week due to tariffs. Now, let me explain why this is really interesting, clever marketing for them. Okay, so what's going on here is our president is using tariffs to get things done, meaning not to get money, because like, for instance, look at Mexico and Canada. He's paused them twice already. He says, okay, I'm putting a tariff on you, 25%. And they're like, oh, and then he says, well, if you go and do this for me, I'll pause it for 30 days. And they're like, okay, we'll do that. And this is how he's evening the playing field, because apparently Canada and Mexico, they have uneven trading practices. We're talking trading between our countries, economic trading. So like, for example, in Canada, if you have a bank, a USA bank, and you go into Canada, they treat you like a foreign bank. But if you're a Canadian bank and you come into America, you're treated like an American bank. So we are more, I guess, allowing and kind and letting them have a better deal while they try to charge us more. So he's trying to even that playing field using these tariffs to kind of push them into the place he wants them and to get things done. China just had a tariff go into effect today. I think it was today. And so what does Walmart and Target do? Oh, we're raising prices today. But let me show you how a lot of people are going to just assume that's related, but it's not if you think about it. If you understand how Walmart, for example, Walmart, none of their food is affected by tariffs. Virtually none. Let me explain why. One, the Mexico one just got paused. The Canadian one got paused. Almost no food comes from other countries. Almost all of it comes from America. So there's like zero chance of your food costing more almost because of these tariffs. Because usually they're paused anyways, and most of our food is not even from these other countries. So the only thing you buy at Walmart that are from other countries are the TVs, the vacuums, blah, blah, blah. Right? And guess what? No one's buying those things. You see what I'm getting at? No one's buying those things. So they're sitting on the shelves for months on end. They're not going to be ordering like a bunch of new stuff from China anytime soon. It's not really going to affect them that much, right? Because almost no. So it's just kind of funny that they do this. On top of the fact that they already got a corporate tax discount for this year from 21 to 15%. They already got 6% cut off their taxes by the end of the year for Walmart. So you're going to tell me they know they got a tax discount, they have almost no effect from these tariffs, and they're pretending like they're raising prices because of them. And this is a way they can make more money doing that. I feel like that's what they're doing. That's just kind of my theory on it. But at any rate, there's that. So, of course, what else do we have here? We have Joy Behar with regards to how some of these Dems have been acting of recent. We have here apparently Representative Al Green getting booted from the floor because of how he's been acting. A lot of these people have been basically heckling, making noises, just being disruptive, holding up signs, acting very immature during, like his speech a few days ago. Check this out.
Joint address to Congress. Watch.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
And you can see there, a lot of them are supporting him, chanting USA. But you have here Al Green from Texas saying he has no mandate to cut, of course, Medicaid, which he does indeed have a mandate. He has both houses. He won the popular vote. 80%, I think it was 80-some% of all the counties flipped or something like that. It's like insane. Like there's so much. It was huge, of course, when clearly that's a mandate. And of course, they're still pretending like it wasn't. And they're being pretty immature about it. Apparently, he got booted for disruption and things like that. You have, of course, Piers Morgan weighing in on this as well, talking about how he viewed it when he watched this speech and how they were behaving during the speech.
We have to defend our American sport.
Don't you want to defend me?
Yes, right.
It's all about America.
Don't come into our home and tell us.
Can't yell them with a smile on your face. So what do you think? What about Democrats against
What do I
Democrats?
think? Here's what I think. I think it was one. I was watching it live here in New York. I thought it was one of the most pathetic, petty, shameful things I've ever witnessed. And it went on and on and on.
And they have these signs too. They were even putting these signs in front of the camera so it would block the person talking and stuff. They're being extremely petty. And they just can't admit that they lost, right? So there's that. We have, of course, and I'm going to get into this probably in the next video. We got apparently the drones again and some other bizarre videos. I'm going to do a video on some bizarre, strange things happening on my next video. And then I got one I'm going to do on aliens next after that probably. Very interesting video on some of the stuff relating aliens to these ancient cultures and stuff going on with that. At any rate, so that's the next two videos I'm going to end up doing. We also had Ethan Klein. He's a YouTuber. Apparently, he was banned on Twitch for 30 days because he reposted something that he was criticizing. So he's criticizing how Twitch allowed a certain guy to say things on their platform. He played what the guy played on Twitch, and instead of the guy that played the stuff originally getting banned, he gets banned. So it's kind of amazing. It's like this huge double standard for Twitch, where if you're in on their side more, so maybe some of the people that work there, they're not going to do anything to you. They'll just give you a little slap on the wrist, give you a day, 24-hour suspension. But if you're on the side they don't like, they'll give you a 30-day suspension, even though you weren't playing the stuff because you agreed with it, but you were actually playing it because you saw it as egregious. Kind of amazing.
I just want to make that as clear as possible. My thought experiment is if somebody on Twitch says someone should blah, 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 Dan Clancy, would they get banned for 1 day? Is that just a 1-day ban?
Yeah, so what he's talking about is the fact that this guy named Hassan Piker got banned, and that's who he's criticizing, got banned for 1 day for doing some pretty ridiculous stuff. Okay? Doing some pretty ridiculous stuff, making, of course, I've seen people on YouTube go to, there was a guy, it was some years ago. I don't remember his name, but he ended up literally, of course, in prison for doing what this Hassan guy does all the time. Ended up in prison. No joke. But this guy, of course, he gets a little slap on the wrist, 24-hour ban. That's all he got. This is what Ethan's talking about here.
Because that would be an interesting experiment. Not that anyone should say it, or obviously, again, not that anyone should do it. But
then, of course, this guy got banned for 30 days for merely replaying what the guy did, right? And that's one of the reasons why I try to be very careful with what I play here on YouTube, because I just know how things are. At any rate, that's my video. I kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.